Easy now, almost got it.
Anna Hartley, a wildlife conservation volunteer stationed near the Serengeti Reserve, walked along a quiet rural road on her morning patrol. In her right hand, she carried a long wooden walking stick, its surface worn smooth from years of rescues. She had walked this route countless times, always ready for the unexpected, but she didn't know that this morning would bring her face to face with a battle for life unlike any she had faced before. A few minutes into her walk, Anna slowed her pace. From somewhere ahead came a faint, strangled sound, low, rough, and filled with exhaustion. It wasn't the call of a bird or the rustle of small prey. This was heavier, desperate. She stopped, her eyes narrowing as she followed the noise. The tall, dry grass swayed gently, revealing only brief flashes of movement. Then, as she stepped closer, the sight made her heart jolt. Lying in the dust was a full-grown lion, its frame gaunt and fragile, every rib visible beneath its dull, matted fur. A thick, powerful python was coiled tightly around its body, each loop pressing deeper into the lion's sunken frame. The lion's eyes flickered open for a moment, glazed and unfocused, a faint groan escaping its parched mouth as the snake's muscles shifted and tightened. Anna's pulse quickened. She stepped forward as the snake's thick body shifted slightly, the dry scales scraping against the lion's fur. Without hesitation, she jabbed the walking stick toward the coils, wedging it between the snake's body and the lion's flank. The python hissed, its head lifting, eyes locked on her. Anna didn't flinch, she pushed harder, twisting the stick to pry the first loop loose. The lion let out a faint, muffled groan, its paw twitching in the dust. Sweat began to bead on Anna's forehead as the snake tightened again, fighting to keep its hold. Anna pushed the stick hard against the coils, twisting and levering with all her strength, but the snake's grip was like iron. The python shifted, tightening again, its muscles bulging under the dull sunlight. Her eyes darted to her satchel. In one swift motion, she pulled out a small canister, flicked off the safety cap, and sprayed a sharp mist directly at the snake's head. The python recoiled slightly, its tongue flicking rapidly, but its hold on the lion did not loosen. The lion's side still rose and fell in shallow, uneven breaths. Realizing she couldn't win this alone, Anna grabbed her radio and called the Wildlife Rescue Hotline.
Does anyone copy? Over.
Her voice was steady but urgent as she relayed the location and described the critical state of the lion. Minutes later, the rumble of an approaching engine broke the tense silence. A dust-covered rescue truck rolled to a stop, and 3 rangers jumped out, each wearing a heavy spray tank strapped to their backs. Without wasting a moment, they surrounded the snake, nozzles aimed. At a quick signal from their leader, a fine stream of anesthetic mist burst from the tanks, coating the python's body in a white cloud. Slowly, its coils began to slacken. The great serpent's head lowered, its movement sluggish, until it lay motionless in the dirt.
Easy now, almost got it. Careful with that coil. Okay, clear.
The rangers moved in quickly but with measured precision. 2 of them knelt beside the lion, their gloved hands gripping the python's heavy body. Inch by inch, they unwound the thick coils, careful not to jolt the fragile animal beneath. Anna crouched near the lion's head, her hand hovering just above its mane, whispering softly as if her voice alone could keep it calm. Each loop that came free revealed more of the lion's sunken frame, fur clumped with dust, skin stretched tight over bone. At last, the final coil slipped away, and the python's limp body was dragged gently to the side. One ranger covered it with a tarp while the others turned their full attention to the lion. A soft groan escaped its throat as they slid a wide stretcher beneath it. The lion's paws twitched weakly, its eyes fluttering half open before closing again. Anna helped steady the stretcher's edge as the team lifted together, their boots pressing deep into the dry earth with each step toward the waiting truck. They laid the lion carefully in the shaded truck bed, a clean blanket draped over its thin body to protect it from the sun. A portable 4-line was prepared on the spot, the first drops of clear fluid dripping steadily into its vein. The truck's engine roared to life, sending a cloud of dust swirling into the air as it pulled away from the roadside. Anna sat in the back with one of the rangers to monitor the lion. Now they have hope in their eyes. The drive to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center felt longer than it was. The truck rolled through the gates of the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, brakes screeching to a stop. The stretcher was out in seconds, a team of vets rushing forward. Bright lights flooded the treatment room as they worked, checking vitals, inserting 4 lines, starting fluids. Severely dehydrated, the lead vet murmured. Extreme exhaustion. We need fluids, supplements, and rest, immediately.
Heart rate is still too low. Let's try to increase the fluids a bit more.
Okay, increasing now. Respiration is very shallow.
The lion lay still, sides rising faintly with each breath. Anna stood nearby, silent, watching every drip of fluid as if each one might tip the balance between life and death. An 4-line was connected to a larger drip. Nutritional fluids began to flow, each drop seeming like a small victory. The lion didn't move, its eyes closed, breathing faint but steady. Hours later, its breathing steadied. By the next morning, the lion could lift its head. On the third day, it accepted soft strips of meat from a shallow dish. Anna called the center each day, her voice filled with cautious hope as she asked for updates. Each small sign of improvement eased the weight in her chest. A week later, the vets decided it was stable enough for transfer, still malnourished, still weak, but out of immediate danger. It was moved to a semi-wild enclosure, a safe area where rescued animals could roam, hunt small prey, and rebuild their strength before being returned to the wild. Anna stood by the fence as the gate opened. The lion stepped slowly into the grass, ribs still visible under its coat, but eyes more alert than before. For a moment, it looked back toward her, then turned and walked deeper into its temporary haven, one step closer to the life it had nearly lost. Anna watched until the lion disappeared among the trees, knowing its journey was far from over. But in her heart, she carried the quiet certainty that sometimes survival is the first victory, and healing takes the rest.